Hey everyone, this is Dimensions of the Supernatural. I'm Maureen Grudzinski, otherwise known as Lil Witchy, and this is my great co-host, Anthony Simonelli, otherwise known as...
Hey, Mr. Fuhgeddaboudit, how you doing tonight? Hey.
We have the most amazing show for you. We have packed our show with every screen we can possibly fit, and hopefully the internet allows this. We are going to introduce tonight some of the biggest names that we can trust in the paranormal world.
Some of the greatest people I know.
Yeah, they're some of the greatest people I've ever met. So tonight, we have Richard Moscella. He is the New Jersey Paranormal Project, a spirit artist, and a published author. Kim Geyer, also of the New Jersey Paranormal Project. She is a medium and a Qigong instructor. We'll tell you more about that. We have Gerard Simonelli, Anthony's brother, and part of Seekers Club of the Paranormal. He's an investigator and an independent investigator as well.
And my niece Brianna is going to be with him tonight too.
She is, and her birthday is Friday. Jenny Colucci, one of our faves. We love to hang out with her. Parasite experience investigator, Ghosts of Somerville TV host. She might kill me. Tracy Vespucci.
Okay, I'm not even going to try.
Vespucci.
Vespucci.
Vespucci. Manager of the Haunted Shanley Hotel, which we love.
Sorry.
Investigator and psychic medium. And she's super talented. I've seen it in action myself. Mm-hmm. Not even at the Shanley. Okay. Bobby Gallo. Best-selling author. Anomalous researcher. Gallo family ghost hunters. They're amazing. Very professional good. Entertainer, web series producer, and musician. We have Angela and Bill Artuso, sweethearts, Gotham Paranormal, and one of the TAPS teams. We do have Scott and Heather Reddick as well from Piedmont Paranormal, both as investigators and researchers. Did I miss anyone?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. If you want to add some people, you can.
Well, we can always follow up and get some more people at another time. But for now, these amazing people are going to start popping up in your screen.
Hello.
Here they go.
Hello, everybody.
Here they come.
Here they go. Oh.
Hello, everybody.
Look at those beautiful faces.
Hey.
Yeah. We're just missing one.
Oh, Lord, I got to put my glasses on to see everybody.
I have to take my glasses off to see everyone.
I'm using my cell phone right now. I didn't bring my laptop, so I got to squint and get real close.
And I just want to mention, if there's ever a time that anyone wants to be on the show and you haven't been chosen for some reason, it's not that we don't like you or we don't love you. It's just that we're trying to get through all of the people that have been around us. So please reach out. Let us know that you're interested because we would love to have you. Yeah. So we're still waiting for Heather and Scott Reddick. Where are they? We don't know. But hi, guys.
Oh,
hello.
Hello, thank you for having us.
Hi. Hello.
It's nice to have you with us. Where do we unpack it all? Do we start with Tracy and then see where we're at and what we're doing and then go from there?
You tell them what they are and who they are and everything. I mean, is anything you guys want to add to anything you want to say? We'll go in order since Tracy's first there.
Oh my, what do you want to know?
Okay.
I want a chance to work with all these great people. I know I met a few of them.
Yeah. You met. I think you probably met most of us here.
Yeah. At a couple Paracons.
Yeah, Paracons and at the Shanley. I mean, right now she's sitting in the Shanley.
Yeah, the only one here. There's no guests or anything, just me.
So if something floats behind you, we put evidence live.
Live evidence. You might even hear an EVP. You never know.
That's cool. That's excellent. The Shanley. I love to be there. I'm telling you, I miss that place so much. Because every time I go, it calls you back. It really does.
It does.
Well, it doesn't call. They call me back. They come to my house, and like I'll see things fly off the counter, and I don't want to tell my boyfriend because he'd yell at me for bringing work home with me. So I have to wait for him to go to bed to start investigating about it. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll go down the line. So, I mean, till Scott gets here, we like I said, we only got half boxes of some of them. Angela and Bill are separated, and Gerard and Brianna are separated there.
Yeah.
Maybe I should open this up a little bit.
Maybe you guys should go on each other's shoulders.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey.
A little
There
better.
we go.
Until Scotty gets here. Oh, no, Gerard's second. Gerard, hey.
Hey.
Yeah, there they go.
Hey, forget about it.
Hey, here they go.
What's going on?
So this is the Christmas holiday show.
There.
Look at all the people we got. This is great. This is like our Christmas gift to our audience because
Yeah.
I believe most of you have been on the show already. Oh, yeah, except for my brother. This is his first time.
Yeah.
We got to be easy with him. We got to, it's his first time. We got to break his paranormal cherry a little bit there.
Oh no.
Yes, Jenny, he said it.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
are you surprised?
hey, you know me by now. So I got a couple questions. You want to hear questions, or you just want to talk amongst each other? And
Go ahead, ask a question.
Yeah.
I have
This
the
better
one
not be
question.
truth or dare.
I actually, truth or dare.
Always a dare.
Yeah. Oh,
This could be deadly.
Let's see where this
going
goes.
up and down the stairs.
Yeah.
Maureen's too sick for that.
I can't even walk from the bathroom to the bedroom.
Yeah, I know. Right now, it's like, all right. What does it take to be a real good paranormal investigator? We're going to start you, Tracy. I heard these questions. I thought they're pretty good questions.
That is a good question. You have to be a good listener, have a good ear, be a little skeptic because, we have to be skeptic. Not everything is paranormal.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it,
Okay.
You gotta the basics, on what EMF is and that sort of thing. But mostly just listening and looking for legitimate evidence.
Mm-hmm.
I think open-mindedness is a big part of it too.
That's a great
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And never fake anything because once you fake something,
That's
you
it
can
right
never
there.
take that back. Your career is dead.
I mean,
Yep.
That's
Your
it right there.
credibility is shot.
But once you lose your credibility, that's it. You can't get that back.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And your self-respect too, not just your credibility in the field, but you should respect yourself more than that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, how many times you see on shows, real shows, that you're looking at this evidence that they're putting out there, and you're like, and since we all, I mean, there's like a couple 100 years of experience we have on the screen right now, and you look at some of this evidence on shows. I like the shows. Don't get me wrong. I still like the shows because that's what opened up the paranormal
Hear
for all
better
of
out
us
the other ear.
back in like 2004.
That's the size of this.
But some of the stuff we see on what's coming out now, it's like it's just for that shock value, like horror movies when they used to be old horror movies. They used to have that one cat jumping out, and then everybody's like, that was good.
Well, don't forget it's a TV show.
About
It's a TV show, and they have to entertain. So that you can't really put too much stock in anything you see in those shows.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they have to tell a narrative. They have to tell a story from here to here. So if it's a quiet night and they only got 2 responses, I mean, that's really what an investigation's about. I mean, it's not always jam-packed with responses and people being touched, but that's what sells the television show.
Yeah.
So there is a narrative that those producers need to tell.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be authentic. And authenticity is something that's sorely lacking right now in the industry.
Yeah.
And, I try to investigate other organizations that are kind of outside the paranormal circles, like Ian's, which is a afterlife research organization, and really these people are authentic. They're real parapsychologists, and if you look on their Facebook pages, you don't see endless pictures of their equipment, like their cameras. I mean, as soon as somebody starts making everything about their cameras and about the shoots and, oh my gosh, we have to do retake after retake, they completely lose me, because this isn't really about you producing your best show. It's about getting evidence of the afterlife. If we're not in it for that, then me personally, I can only speak for myself. I don't want any part of it.
Yep.
People forget about that. They go for the shock value, and they try to rope in the younger audiences because that they're the ones that want to see the running and the screaming, and it just ruins it for the rest of us because pretty much everybody here has the same agenda, but you have those out there that just want the shock value, and like you said, that it's the same things over and over again, the pictures of the equipment and over and over and over again. So I hear you.
Well, like trying to help run the facility here at the hotel and giving tours and teaching people how to be an investigator. A lot of people coming in don't realize all these shows, they're there 5 to 10 days for that 15-minute clip on TV.
Yeah.
They think you're going to get that like in one night, all that type of activity. It can happen, and we do have great activity, but that's not every single solitary day. Like that.
And we've talked about in our team, it's like, we've watched Ghost Hunters taps and, the Dude Run. We all know Dude Run, okay?
They had a shirt
and
they put it on a shirt.
Exactly. And we've all said if there's a Dude Run, time, y'all need to stop because no. I mean, we're all going to be freaked out. There's going to be something that's going to freak us out, but we don't need to run from this stuff. We need to walk towards it and figure it out. So, I mean, we laugh at Dude Run anyway. I mean,
that's an old one, though. That's from 20 years ago.
I know, exactly. That shows how old we are.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not right. I'm always the first one last out. And when I hear something, I mean, it could be an explosion. I'm running to it. I don't know. I guess I don't know better.
Exactly. That's what we do.
Right. Exactly. Why are we in this if we're not going to go towards the evidence, not run away from it?
No, we don't hide and cower.
Yeah. So one of the we all go to it. Why? Because one of the great aspects of a good investigator is curiosity. We're all there. We're all wondering. We're all curious. We're like, what was that? And why do we keep coming back? Because we're like, well, what is it? This, using all the different evidence just to kind of answer that curiosity within us and like a bit of hope too. Like there is something beyond, right? Using that with our authenticness. As Bobby said, yeah. Love it.
We have a question. Yeah. You want to say it, Maureen? A question?
No. Although there was a question from the comment section that says, "What constitutes good evidence?"
Something you cannot prove. A good, like a clean EVP, knowing that nobody's speaking or anything else. EVP for the audience, electronic voice phenomenon. That means that when you record like when you're in the room talking, when you play it back, there's other voices there. There's something different.
To that point, we one of the things that we do, and I see it on the shows all the time, like getting back to that, where you see them going through and they're whispering, low voice and everything. And what we do on our team, we talk in our regular voices. That way, what we catch on the recorder, we know for a fact is one of our team members.
You can tell our voices.
If it comes through as a whisper or something like that, we know to start listening to that closer because that's potential evidence.
That's smart.
So what constitutes good evidence? You're absolutely right. It's something that you cannot go back and disprove any other way as to being, an outside, like a car going by, or like you said, one of your team members or somebody else in the house, making a noise. Tagging is very important.
Absolutely.
You brush your foot against something and you knock something over, and you have recording equipment say that was me.
Yeah.
Or
your stomach growls, or you cuff.
I mean,
Stomach growling. We say claim it or blame it.
They're a little gassy sometimes. So
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
don't
They've
like
seen
that.
on his shows. Like,
yeah.
I can't take him anywhere. I'm just saying.
We
I
have
kind of like
I
evidence.
don't know about you, but I always seem to be gassy on investigations.
I know my problem is I'll eat at Taco Bell and then try to investigate, and it's
There you go.
Oh, yeah. My brother and I know that well. How's your right?
Everybody.
Taco Bell. We went to Taco Bell one day. Taco Bell, White Castles,
and Domino's.
Was it Domino's or Pizza
Domino's.
Hut?
that's a great combo.
That night. Oh my
Shoot.
goodness.
A lot of EVPs.
Yeah.
Probably sound like the depths of hell coming
I don't
through.
think that was ectoplasm missed in the pictures.
No.
And
You should see on nitrogen pitches.
I had you right. We were at the what do you call it, Tilly Pierce, and that place is not huge, and you could hear echoes and stuff. And yeah, now you're doing a review. It's like you're listening out. Everybody here done reviews, so you're listening to hours and you hear, oh no! It's like 4 or 5 hours of just that.
No, but one of the best ones. Anthony's in the room drawing pictures. He sees something happening. One night, I'm being harassed by a ghost. So I'm in the bathroom. I see him. He's in the bathroom on the floor. Like, what are you doing? He goes, I see things. Like, and then my brother's possessed. So we're in there, and then we hear, we're like, it's a ghost. It's a ghost. We get closer to the wall. It's my friend sleeping in the other room. He's going,
Yeah. We're doing review. I think it's a little girl laughing.
I have to go to the bathroom. And he's telling me, go to the bathroom. I'm like, I got to pee. And my brother's sitting on the floor drawing pictures of ghosts. I'm like, I got to go. He goes, just go. I'm drawing. I see things. And the pictures that he shows are the actual pictures from the Tilly Pierce.
Yeah. Yeah, that
was a crazy night.
From the Tilly Pierce. That was like, what, 2004, 5, something like that? It was a little
like that.
Maybe 2008.
We got the place on Labor Day, and somehow we're the only investigators in the entire building.
Yeah, nobody was there except for us.
First time, and we had it for like almost 3 days.
So that was awesome.
And the one thing, I think one of the best things we've had was we went out to eat, and obviously when you eat things and you have to go to the bathroom, you got to get back to the time, to the place we're staying in. But that night, I was being harassed every night by the spirit. So I tell Anthony, I got to go to the bathroom. I can't wait. And everybody's standing out front drinking wine. I go upstairs myself. I'm in the bathroom, and I'm get my laptop. And then at one point, I hear movement in the room. I'm like, oh, no, not now. Then I hear banging. Then my nephew calls me up. And my brother, where are you? I'm in the bathroom. There's noise in the room. They come up to see what's going on. Long story short, we come out, we search the room. All the cameras are turned off, but one voice recorder. And we play back the voice recorder, and you heard everything in the room. And my brother goes, this is the best evidence we have. And he takes the little SD card out, and he drops it, and it falls and never touched the floor and disappeared.
And we couldn't find it. It vanished from my hand to the floor, completely gone. You didn't even hear it hit the floor.
God.
It's like they didn't want us to hear that. That was awesome.
That
was awesome, but then it was like, I got no evidence now.
That was so good too.
That was good. So
thank God nobody heard your poopy voices or anything.
I think one of the greatest ones we had was Waverly Hills, and we were in the morgue of Waverly, and we're trying to place the equipment, like where would you put this? Where do you want to put this? And when we played it back, you hear a voice go, over there.
That's helpful. Very helpful.
Very helpful.
Yeah,
that's great.
We don't.
So, the next question. Where's the most the best place you got evidence. You know, I know Tracy's answer right now.
I couldn't name one place.
Bias.
Well,
And also Fairfield County Infirmary too. The one bathroom is insane for EVP. But
Really?
you know, of course, my home here at the Shanley.
Yeah, the Shanley's.
I think one of the most places, West Virginia State Penitentiary.
Oh God, I was just there. That was pretty unique place.
We went the entire night, and we went down. I was like acting like a warden, putting them in lockdown. I got threatened. They said kill Gerard several times in EVPs. I heard my brother's name calling me, and it wasn't him calling me.
Wow.
We got a video of a spirit, actually, looks like a prison guard walking in the distance.
Yeah, and it was couldn't be nobody down there too.
And then my obelisk is in cell 15, and it's talking to my brother's obelisk in a different cell, and they were communicating back and forth, the obelisks.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go in the boiler room?
Yes. Yes, we went down there.
Yeah, we did. And the second floor was closed, I think, though.
Yes.
Well, that was the second floor. At that time, I went to the second floor another time. I went there a couple times already. But
we had a lot of
activity. They chopped that guy up. Yeah, that was crazy. Crazy spot.
Well,
I find the best places are the places you've never heard of. Honestly,
exactly. I was getting ready to say that.
Totally agree.
There was a small Revolutionary War era burial ground in Fort Mill, South Carolina, called Old Unity Cemetery, and honestly, to this day, there was no more active patch of land, and we're only talking maybe an acre, no more active patch of land that we've ever investigated. And I was told by a shaman friend of mine, it probably had a spiritual vortex there. But we got stunning evidence there. And I go to places like the Conjuring House. I was a guest at the Conjuring House just a few months ago, and I didn't get anything. So I honestly believe that some of these places can get played out. I think some of the energy can get drained over time, if you will. Or maybe these spirits get used to these constant investigators. You know, you can go to a place that's never been investigated before, and they're willing to talk. They're willing to interact. I mean, that's just my experience.
Yeah, no, you're
exactly
I actually
right. Will echo on. I'll echo on. Oh, go ahead.
We've been to some of the best places known. Tala, Waverly, St. Albans, USS North Carolina, St. Augustine Lighthouse, and we got fantastic stuff. However, the most active location we have been to, and if you've watched Entity Voices, is a place here in North Carolina called the Montgomery House.
Yeah.
It is not known to a lot of people. If you get the chance to come down here and investigate that place, it will not disappoint you.
Yeah, Chris Allgood and Audra.
Yes,
and Audra Keeler. You contact and they'll get you in there. And they're Entity Voices. Matter of fact, they're going to be here next week on our show.
Yeah, and we actually just finished up an investigation there beginning of last month.
Yeah.
We used that location as our training spot as well. We brought on a new investigator. She is as green as they come, and that was her first investigation with us. And we currently are going through all of that evidence now to present, and get that content ready to put up for people to view. But we've got a lot to go through.
And the place is like really crazy. Like it knows when you have been there before, and it messes with you.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have never, well, I'm not going to say I've never, but I have found that I have some new abilities. And when I go there, it messes with me, and it makes me want to stay outside and watch the backyard. It doesn't want me in the house. It wants me in the backyard, and it wants me to watch.
And one of the pieces of evidence we got are in that exact location she keeps getting drawn to, that we got off this last investigation. We're going to be hopefully presenting that evidence after the beginning of the year at some point. So
So
sounds like a road trip. Road trip to Montgomery.
Absolutely.
Exactly. It will not disappoint.
We'll be there tomorrow. Everybody get your cars and let's go.
Let's go. I'll go there too. I'm ready. Because I'm not afraid of it.
We're more intrigued by it now than anything.
I want to know what I want to know what they want from me, and I want to help, and that's all that matters. I mean, that's all we want to do is we want to help people.
So your
make
new
sense of everything.
Your new abilities, are they abilities that would revolve around the outdoors or something that may have happened outside?
So I have been talking with Chris from Entity Voices Paranormal, and apparently I've had a lot of how do I put it, Scott?
I'm not really sure.
Because
you're talking about stuff that's well beyond me.
So I've been feeling stuff for a long time, didn't realize how much of it was paranormal and how much was just me. And when I go to places like I went to Montgomery House, 2 times ago, and I spent the whole time throwing up.
Oh.
Because I couldn't do anything. I would vomit and I would stand in the backyard and just stare at the backyard. And I'm like, this is not normal stuff for me. And he's like, have you always had these feelings of like you could feel
like the way
riding in a car and you're like, can you feel every bump in the road? And I'm like, I've been doing that for years, right, Scott? I would fuss at Scott, but like, can you not hit all these damn bumps? It's ridiculous. And Chris is like, you've got abilities, and I didn't know it. So I'm trying to understand these things, but Montgomery House, every time I go there, it wants me to go in the backyard and walk back there. And it feels like it is some sort of a
magnet.
Yeah, magnet, or it wants to take over me. And they have to pull me back because I'm not used to all of that. So
it sounds like someone's trying to get a message out as to how they passed away. And what you're experiencing to me sounds like you're feeling how someone passed away or got sick and then eventually passed away. And Tracy and Kim, like, you can probably shed some more light on this as well. But I don't know, it sounds like maybe like a poisoning kind of thing, or
Yes. I feel poisoned. I really do. It's a crazy feeling. Like I cannot turn my head away from the backyard, and everyone's like, Heather, you need to step back. And I'm like, okay, fine.
Okay.
Are you asking questions even in your own head while you're in that backyard as to what are you trying to show me? What are you? I'm newer with abilities. Every day something new opens up for me, and I hear EVPs before they're recorded and things like that, and I experience things like that too. And somebody yelled at me that I'm not asking the right questions as to the information I'm receiving.
Absolutely.
Like not going deep enough.
Right.
That's a great point.
I'm trying this, and I can't get the answers to come to me the way it needs to.
Kim,
this is a great point. And congrats on opening up the experiences. It's so what I do is I go to locations as a medium. That's all I do. It can be a well-known, it can be my own backyard, locally. And so I totally get when you walk into a space or a location, you feel it. And so and I've also found that locations where they have not been investigated a lot, they are there and they're ready to tell their story. They are so happy that somebody's there. Well, I shouldn't say all places, but often they're excited to just tell their story because every person has a story and every place has a story. So
Absolutely.
how I feel what you're experiencing is that a spirit is trying to tell their story through you. And as a medium and as a sensitive or empath or intuitive, whatever we want to call it these days, you have the opportunity to say, okay, I feel that. Thank you. That's enough. And then ask for a different way. You don't need to be feeling and you don't need to be sick. I know exactly what you're talking about. And you don't need to be shown that information in that way. You can be shown it in other ways. And we were also talking about evidence. As a medium, it's hard to prove me, right? I'm just me having my experience. And it's really hard to prove me. So when I go to these locations investigating, it's really important to also stack that with the tools, because I think if there's something that can reverberate what I'm feeling or experiencing. So when you're starting to look out the back, ask the tools to help you. I don't know, maybe you already are, but ask the tools to help you. Who's this? Who, however you like to use the tools in your investigating. And then also what I love to do too, to help back up my mediumship, because again, it's just me having an experience. I mean, there's no real evidence in that. Is go back to the history books. And I go back to the history to actually back up the evidence of what I'm experiencing. And you might find, if you've gone back to the history, I don't know if you have in that house, of something that happened in the backyard. Because what it feels like to me, it feels like a woman, a mother who's looking out the backyard and she's having some kind of experience. And there's something that happened. Either there's a child in the backyard, but she's very concerned about that backyard. Fascinating. Montgomery House.
Is there a pond in that backyard?
Whew.
Is there water back there? In the pond in the backyard where you keep getting sick?
It's hard to tell. It's a wooded area. This was a 1800s plantation. There were
slaves.
There were slaves. There were servants there. It was the home of the only doctor at that time within what would be now a 3-county area of North Carolina. So at that time, travel, at that time it could take someone 2 days to get there. But we're talking about a location that there was a lot of sickness there, and at one point it was also the county courthouse. I believe there were hangings there that were part of sentences that were given out.
And also there was some Native American
there's
stuff in their area.
You can't walk 10 square feet in North Carolina and not be walking on Native American land.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
At some point, and it's so you have some of that in that area as well. But I think getting back to the history part and getting back to the books of a location, yes, the known history of a location can tell you a lot of what you could be dealing with. Her getting sick, well, this was the doctor's office.
Sure.
That's and as far as the location of any known water sources on that property, I'm not 100% sure where those would be. It's very possible. I mean, there had to be a well or something somewhere on that property. Some kind of water source. But as to its actual location, I really couldn't tell you.
Also, what might help you too is like with all the emotions and everything that you're feeling, start learning to do automatic writing. To sit there with a notebook, write down how you feel and everything, and then once it's on paper, it might help you to piece things together. And that's what I've started doing too. I do automatic writing before every event we have here.
All right, I'm going to start asking some more questions. Okay, I'm going to. Sorry to move on, but it's only a 14-hour show.
We try to keep it brief.
I'm going to skip Tracy. I'm going to go to Richard this time. then from Richard we go down the line. Okay. Since you started, how did the technology change? In the paranormal, is it? You think it's getting better, or it's staying the same, or not?
It's definitely getting better. I mean, I think everything we used in the last 20 years it definitely improved and it's gotten better, but there's also stuff out there that's gimmicks. And it's very gimmicky, and you need to be very selective with the gear that you put confidence in, and you spend a lot of money in, and you bring it on investigations. I honestly like old school stuff. I like the digital tape recorder. I like having a camcorder. And I also started using my inner technology and my mediumship. So when you could combine EVP, that visual evidence along with mediumship, and you stack that evidence up, and what you're getting through your EVP is matching what you're getting through mediumship. When you walk out of these locations and that evidence stacks up, that to me is amazing. When different people are all telling the same exact story in different locations, whether they're collecting it through EVP, whether they're getting video evidence, and the mediumship. But I definitely would say, it definitely has improved. It's very expensive, and there are some tricks that you have to watch out.
And what you go to? Get your mediumship?
Work. I love EVP for me is amazing because it also works through my mediumship. So as I'm there and I'm asking these questions, I'm getting these images of spirit. So I'm sketching that down. So I'll ask spirit, are you wearing glasses? Do you have a mustache? Because it's almost like they're allowing me to sketch their character. I am sketching what I'm seeing in my mind's eye, and then I start sketching their life. I see you, like you had rough hands. Did you? So as you're getting these EVPs, they're almost telling you their life story. So that to me is my go-to, is combining mediumship with EVP.
Bob.
Yes.
What's your you think? You think what? I'm sorry for waking you. I didn't mean to.
No, you didn't. No. I was listening. I was very intently listening to Richard. I could almost verbatim say what he was just saying, though.
I know. Sometimes I do that. I take inside my eyelids.
Well, you see, what he was, there's a term for what he was talking about, and they're called evidence strings. And basically, the more strings of evidence you have, the closer you come to scientific proof, because there's a difference between evidence and proof. They're two different things completely. We have mountains of evidence in the paranormal, but we still have no scientific proof. But if, Richard uses his mediumship, and that coincides with a high EMF reading in an area where he already did a sweep beforehand, a baseline reading that shouldn't be there. And you might get a photographic anomaly. Now that's 3 evidence strings, though each one validates the other. So I totally agree with what he says, and this proves that I was listening. But I also agree with him about the old school equipment. Yeah. Because honestly, I buy new stuff all the time just to try it out, and I end up going back to the tried and true workhorses that have worked for me. Nothing will beat my Tri-Field natural EMF detector. Unfortunately, they don't make them anymore. But God, that was like the greatest invention for a paranormal investigator, because it will not detect man-made EMF. It only detects EMF from DC sources, which is what your body EMF is actually made of. So if you get high readings in a situation, it will detect you, by the way. That's that sensitive. But if you use it correctly, it can capture some great paranormal evidence along with EVP and whatnot. So, and if I had one piece of equipment, it would probably be my old Bell and Howell S7 Slim infrared pocket camera, because we've gotten full body apparitions with that thing. And to me, to this day, nothing is as good as that little camera.
Yeah,
That's the best one. I had that camera and we lost it.
I have 3 of them.
I cannot get it no more.
Look on eBay. Occasionally they pop up, and they popped up 2 times, and I bought 2 more because
185 they charge you for it now.
Oh, you can still get it for under $100.
Yeah, I've been looking for that. Anthony, that's the camera we had that the lens went on it.
Mm-hmm.
Best camera.
That was a great camera.
They are the best cameras.
Yeah,
you cannot get them anymore,
and they discontinue making them, so that's horrible.
You'll find them. Just look.
Keep
looking
like
on
something,
eBay.
it just discontinue it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Angela and Bill, same question.
Same
what do
question.
you think? The technology, is it better? Is it staying the same, or what? And what'd you go to?
I agree with Richard. So we're falling into the same pattern. I definitely agree. My go-to is always going to be audio and video. I don't go anywhere without it. I think that's the same for you.
Yeah, and the question really is, like, if you have an EMF meter or say K2 meter, lights go off unless you have some kind of validation, whether you have an EVP at that time or some other piece of equipment that can collaborate that. It's really just a light going off. We really can't substantiate anything, and that's a problem I noticed with a lot of when we had a couple of investigators on our team who are no longer with us, that every time a K2 light went off, wow, look at that, it's a ghost. It's not.
It's not. You know? And it can be triggered by so many different things. You get a text where the K2 meter is going to go off, and just so many outside sources that can affect it. I think the equipment has gotten better, but again, I like the old school equipment. I like, and I also like thinking out of the box, and also using your feelings when you're on a case. I mean, how many times you walk into a building, you walk into a room, you can feel it right away. I mean, the more you do them, especially if you have a location that you keep returning to, I think that's our favorite, because as we dive into the history more and more, and you learn more about it, and you go back in that time, and you can do some really great EVP sessions there and get new responses each time you go back. But we try to bring different things with us, not just the regular, ghost toys, I call them, the regular equipment. We just think out of the box. If you were a person in the time period, what would you be using? Bring stuff like that with you. Things like that. So you never know what you're going to get. You just use your own thought process when you go on these investigations, and you'd be surprised what you get.
Yeah, I know K2 a couple times. I debunked that, at airports and stuff overhead, and being an electrician, you could debunk a lot of the equipment out there, especially EMF meters and stuff like that. So
that's why I think it's important to have multiple sources to collaborate your data, whether it be a temperature change at that time when that light went off, when you got an EVP, then you really have something there. So it's just, you can't really rely on one piece of equipment.
That's why I like my EDI now. My EDI has all the toys on it.
That's nice. I like those.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It has all the toys on it, and it saves you from carrying that extra box of equipment. You got it in one piece of, that. Of course, you're going to bring the other ones because we don't know better. We bring all the toys everywhere we go. Our trunks are packed, and it's like we use like 3 or 4 pieces of equipment, but our trunk is still packed with stuff we don't use. We all do it, and then it's like, oh, just in case. And the day you pack everything, you bring the car, and it's like, maybe I should bring this, and then you go back and bring more stuff. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So we, as investigators, and we know better. At certain locations, you don't need all that equipment.
Yeah, I remember all your suitcases full of stuff at Tala.
Oh yeah, I went down to Trans-Allegheny, and I had like a trunk full of stuff
You have a store, Anthony. When you come on an investigation, it's a store that sets up.
I got a whole room right now with equipment. I'm in a little corner, and all my equipment's all over around me. That's why I have to put this thing behind me, because it looks like a storage room over here. Yeah, so.
Cannolis were the best thing ever. You have to bring cannolis every time you come down.
Yeah, that's what I'm known for. When I go to Trans-Allegheny to Tala, I brought cannolis from Queens over here. You know, from the.
They were amazing. They were amazing
on the bay, and they was like, I was popular that day.
You made the spirits an offer they couldn't refuse.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you feed
I
them.
don't know. You never brought me a cannoli.
Okay, next time I'll come.
Yeah, me neither. What's Jersey?
Or go to Kalamazoo. Now you have to, from the city. Kalamazoo or cannoli.
I see 6 Italian investigators.
Oh, sorry,
on this
Anthony.
Okay, I can't afford a cannoli for everybody.
You gave me a little pack of Fritos.
I got a cannoli. You got Fritos.
Hey, Anthony, we got to do Paranormal Paisans. I see 6 Italian investigators right on this show.
Gotta get my fish involved.
We got to investigate a pastry shop, Italian pastry shop. Yeah. Or a pizza place or something like that. That's what we got to investigate. Haunted pizza.
Oh, we got a good bakery for you, Anthony.
In Huntington.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
I never pay. When it comes to pastries, I never turn anything down. But then again, I never turn much food down. You can see.
Yeah, our friend Gerard owns it. It's in Huntington, and he just put out his own book too about the hauntings of it. It's called The Baker's Ghost.
Let's go.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's funny because when I met Bobby, it was me, Bobby, and Ron Iacovetti, and with the 3 of the Italians there, and I was like, "Hey, let's call ourselves the Paranormal the Paisan Paranormal." So it was like the 3 Paisanos. So
I know Rich is up for it. I can tell.
Oh, Rich is definitely up for cannoli.
Paranormal. There you go.
Even Kim would become Italian for the day. Just for a cannoli. And Tracy, I'm gonna have to bring her cannoli.
I am Italian, Anthony.
Oh, you are.
When you come, I'll make you cannoli.
What's with Italians and the paranormal? What's that all about? I don't know.
Like
Hey, we bury them, and then we look for them.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Create them. We might as well find them.
Now, showing EVP, did you deserve this? Give me a cannoli.
Hey, how would those shoes fit underwater? So, Gerard, same question. Since
Well, you know my answer. The new stuff is cool. I like it. It's good because it's a showpiece, I believe. I like going with my 8mm camera. The only problem is I can't find the tapes; they're too expensive, and then I can't download them. And EVPs, that's where I like going. I like pure EVPs. I have an novelist. I enjoy it, but sometimes you go to investigations, that becomes the whole piece of evidence. Nothing happens, and everybody hears the novelist, and then they take that as it's the whole evidence that the investigation.
Yeah.
The SLS.
The only time I really like those. The only time I really like those are when you're in a situation where you can't get EVP.
Yeah.
Like many times, there's great haunted locations that are right next to busy highways, and it's absolutely impossible to get EVP. So, you look for alternative methods of ITC. So that's kind of where an ovilist kind of shines, I think. But I agree with you generally.
And it's fun. I mean, like what I like doing now is I like when you do an investigation and then you do a fast review. I like having 2 recorders the whole time. I like keeping a recorder recording while I'm doing the review, because a lot of times then I get answers to the answers of the review. So this say we ask a question now and it says my name is such and such, and then as I play it back, I'm recording again. My other recording is picking up the review, and now you're getting answers as to answering that same person. It's just weird. You got to try it out. It's actually pretty cool. I've done it several times. and then you get an EVP, and the more you go over and over, because we did it with Ron and Laura several times, and we played the thing back, and we went to play Ohika Castle, and we had banging and screaming going on, and then when we played it back, it was added on to that. It was like our ghost responding to the other spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's where we had the piano.
Wow.
Piano player, yeah.
I got it on my recording of piano actually playing. You know,
Very
that castle is pretty cool. So what?
Old school is the way to go. I think old school still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kim,
we never shut off our EVP recorder. We have it running the entire investigation, and it's grueling to do evidence review. But that is how we've caught some of our best EVP is when we weren't even asking questions, and the spirit wanted to come in and convey something. And here I am listening, and I fall off my chair. Those always been the best ones.
Yeah, I mean, the one time we went out, and my brother's like, "There's a doorknob keeps turning," so he had the camera on a doorknob.
Hey,
Now,
Jamie, that's the first time.
12 straight hours.
That
Close your eyes, it turns.
That was a Chili Pierce. And then I did
that thing for hours, like, oh my God.
Then the Ritz Theater, I did the same thing on a doorknob.
No more.
I'll
put a bell on it now.
Sit there, it's like a doorknob. It's like, okay, you're going to turn. You're going to turn. And you start biting your nails, and you're scratching your head. And it's like, So, Kim, how's the technology changed? The technology, since you started, since now to that, how did it change? Better, worse, whatever? What do you think? Or you just go with your mediumship? What's your best piece of tool?
Well, I do travel pretty tech light, which is why I'm a part of a team most often, because everybody else usually.
I hear that all the time. Nobody brings their stuff because I bring my stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got a shop, as we've said. I like go through your stuff, and I'm like, what's this? What's this? What's this?
And then I
roll pretty. I roll pretty tech light, but my tools of choice, I would say, are a camera. I've caught some incredible things just on a regular camera during the daytime, which everybody believes it's you catch your best stuff at night, but I've caught in 2 different locations white orbs going into my body on a camera, and that in itself isn't for me evidence, but I didn't see it in the moment, but I felt it. So on camera,
reacted to it. That's
I have a very extreme reaction to both of these orbs. And it wasn't until we reviewed the evidence that right before I had the reaction, a white orb went into my body.
I love that. I would like to see that.
Camera. Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel.
Okay, you need to shoot me that link. Cool. I want to watch that.
Will do. Yeah, it's happened twice now. And again, during the day, nothing fancy. We're outside. I'm not in a building. I'm outdoors. Anyway, so camera for me is one of the top things. I also do use an EMF meter for myself, and it's just, again, to validate my experience with some evidence. So if I'm starting to feel something on my body, I might put the millimeter near my body, and if it spikes, great. If it doesn't, I can't really explain it, but often it will spike. Not all the time, to be honest. But that's just another tool that I use, and then we camera in, to use that. But I mean, I love the new technology. It appeases my brain because it's fun to listen to. I can't really say if it's really validated or not, to be honest. It's so new, and people are coming out with their own new software. I'm not a part of the software building, so I don't know what kind of algorithms are being used in these. So I can't really speak to the validity of them.
You're not a whole day.
No,
that's right.
No, and technology is way over my head. I don't know what's going on. There can't be a button to just turn it on. I can't do knobs. I don't know. It's too much for me.
Well, if you're using an app, you have to know who designed it for sure. Because there's a lot of apps out there that are strictly for entertainment purposes only, to freak people out at parties. But there are some ones that were designed with genuine investigation in mind, like Daniel Roberg from Big Bird Studios, when he designed EchoVox. That's been an ITC standard now for over 10 years. And I know him personally. That's totally on the level. The same thing with Ghost Speaker, which is an obelisk type of device from Krugism. I know Scott Krug, who designed that. If you know the designers and you know they were done legitimately, go for it. If you don't, I would stay away, honestly, for the most part.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know we've been. Well, Rob, what was that one we're using now? Are we getting a lot of stuff?
Necrometer.
Necrometer.
It's weird because that
I'm
one
not
there.
familiar.
And
Yeah.
the thing is, it's
Scotty the Medium. He introduced me to that one.
And
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah,
Is it
we've
really?
used it, and it actually answers questions as things are actually happening.
Gonna write it down.
Yeah.
I like the Babel one. It just speaks gibberish and like phonic sound until it comes through clearly. And it could be a whole sentence or it could be nonsense. It has two. One does like an obelisk, and then the other one is just like a gibberish, like 4 words. And then all of a sudden you hear something in English, and it's crazy.
I mean,
and
it comes in handy.
legitimate.
Like things like that come in handy if you go out and investigate. You just like this recently. I was in Virginia and we're driving by and we saw an abandoned school, and I had nothing on me, but I had the apps on my phone. So I have an SLS app, the Ghost app, I think it is. Anyway, I went out with my niece and we walked through an abandoned. It says "Do not enter," but ghost hunters don't listen, and we entered the building, and we got some crazy stuff happening. And my niece, she used her iPhone. And I was just walking with this ghost app the whole time. And what I did, I posted straight on Facebook, and I didn't even review it. I asked everybody else to review for me. And I got so many responses that who they saw, what they saw, and what they heard. Then I went back and see what they saw and heard. And it was all with apps with the phone. Now, I don't like phone. I don't like it, but that was just a last minute thing.
I run each app that we use for at least 6-7 hours and in the car to see if something comes up all the time, to see if you're getting false positives, to see if it's fake.
Right. If things
And I continuously do this. Ghost Tube Vox is a pretty good one, and I met the makers of that.
You know, it's actually not bad. I agree. I've used it. I've actually got some crazy relevant responses. I was investigating an old church and I got a church bell. I mean, what are
I
the
got
odds?
reels of that too, like going through a cemetery and telling me whose grave is in the cemetery, and I found it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Ghost
I
Tube
wasn't
Vox is
standing in
actually
front of
pretty
it.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
no,
they're really nice people from Australia.
Yeah,
And
Amy's Crypt. She's probably one of the biggest sensations on YouTube right now, honestly. I mean, she's got hundreds of thousands of followers on her, and she does a lot of stuff. But yeah, they designed it themselves. You're right. It's true.
Oh. Jenny, the question goes to you now.
Hi.
Technology.
I feel like I've been so quiet.
I know and I'm not used to that. You're
No,
my partner.
I know you're my partner. I'm looking at all of you wonderful, sensitive people, and I'm not a sensitive at all or a medium. I feel like I'm the only one. Am I the only one?
No, I'm not either.
You either. Okay.
I'm a double XL.
But you know, you're funny. Going back to the original question you asked about what makes a good, investigator. I think working with other people who are not like you, I think that really helps me. Like in our team, working with sensitives that I'm not a sensitive, working with somebody with a totally different perspective. Like we have a psychologist and therapist on our team. We have a law enforcement officer. Me, I'm a chemist and physicist. Like we have totally different, and we have a medium. So it's like, I think that makes you better, using your particular gifts, right? Makes you better as a team. Anyway, body cam. I love the body cam. I love to use that. Yes. But more than anything, I'm very fortunate that I have a team member who will build me what I need. So if I say, like, for example, we have something called we call it the empty box, EMPT box, that Anthony in our group built. And it looks very much like a music box. And it's very sensitive, but you actually have to touch it, and it has a little crystal on top. And I have so much luck with that because it looks more like something in a 1800s mansion than a REM pod or something like that. I know it's just the same kind of thing. It doesn't put out a field. You actually have to touch it. But I think custom equipment for me is the way to go. You know, whether it's the way it looks, the way it functions. And Bobby, before I forget, I use an EMF detector that says exactly what type of EMF it is.
Oh, really?
So it will tell you, yeah, I can send it to you.
I would love that. Thank you.
It will say somebody's cell phone is on. It will literally say like somebody's got a cell phone on, or it's radio.
Oh, I use that too.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really great.
Cool. And you were saying evidence string, Maureen. I don't know if Maureen's still here, but you know we call that paranormal lasagna in my group. Well, we have layers of evidence going back.
Another Italian reference.
Medium, Italian.
Always food we got to go back to.
But we call it lasagna, paranormal lasagna. So that's pretty funny.
Didn't you actually go to the Hinsdale house and actually make lasagna?
We did. We made pasta. Yeah, it's true. We did.
They wanted to make like a normal household, and they actually cooked lasagna there.
Exactly. We did.
At the Hinsdale house. That's awesome.
It worked. It worked. And the other thing that I think makes my answer a little different is that we don't use the word evidence really in our group. You know, we more like observation or phenomenon, that kind of thing. Because like Bobby said so well, like you're not proving anything.
Well, evidence and proof are two different things.
Exactly.
But I know what you're saying. Yeah. You have an anomaly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a scientist, so I know, like, and I work with a law enforcement officer, so we have different views of the word evidence for sure. Okay. But we try not to use it. You know, we try to say like observation or, you know, feeling or whatever it is. And the other thing is, I like to combine that. You know, the subjective and the objective. You know, I think that's something I've grown as an investigator this year. I was always very scientific, but now I've learned, you know, that matters just as much, you know.
Very cool. Yeah.
Sorry, I kind of went on and on there. Body cam.
No, great.
Body cam.
Great.
Body cam. That's mine too. Body cam.
We need to have a discussion. What do you think of quantum physics in relation to the paranormal?
That's
I
gonna
would
be
love
like
your perspective on that.
Discussion. Go,
that's the next show.
About this.
You got to ask Kim that one.
Kim, we got Kim there. She's a scientist, pretty much.
Oh, perfect. Oh, I love this.
We got all these people here. That's smart people. That's like the smart people on my show. It makes me look smart. Well, somewhat.
You're smart. You're smart. Going back to my initial comment, one of the things I do is I follow people I think are really amazing in this field. And that's how I kind of met Anthony. I sort of was like, can I follow you around?
Every investigation that she's with me, so
yeah, see,
we've been calling out. She's my partner on every investigation.
Yeah, I do. I follow him.
So I'll go to Scott. We lost Heather. Is Heather with?
She's taking a relief break at the moment.
So I thought she's meeting Maureen. She's with Maureen right now.
Hey, you never know. But as for the question, well, we came in equipment-wise in the new technology age. So that's really kind of all we've really known. I mean, but there are the basics there, you know, the digital recorders, the cameras, and you have the basics there. But along the way, I've picked up some new techniques. My favorites is UV black light and infrared photography. I've had some amazing photographs.
Black light.
Yeah, yes. Had some amazing stuff with that. With those two, we use the SOS program that they found. It loads onto iPad Pros that have the LiDAR feature on them, and it gives you an SLS without having to go through and buy the camera, build the tablet, and download the software and all that. It's just one package on there, and it runs through an iPad Pro.
Is that different technology though, Scott?
No, it's using the same concept as the Kinect cameras. The concept on the Kinect cameras emit a LiDAR array.
Which Kinect? The newer one or the older one?
The older ones. The
older one.
Yeah, the older ones, the Xbox 360 cameras, and so and they emitted a LiDAR
Right.
array on it. Well,
How's the
I've
battery
had
on that? Because I know SLS. My camera. We have two tablets because the battery goes so quick. So we take one off and put another tablet there. But I got another camera recording, videoing what's on the tablet. I don't use a tablet as a recorder.
if I have the iPad fully charged and I turn that SLS on, it will probably last 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It's I mean the batteries on iPads are pretty bulky. Yeah. So
Okay.
that
Mine
that's
don't last that long.
yeah. But I mean, but you have to buy the iPad Pro, and not just the regular iPads. Or
Yeah,
else,
the Pro
Right.
probably much better. Yeah.
um,
The tablet doesn't really hold much.
yeah, yeah. But then again, you look at some of the new technology out there now that's being built off of old technology. Ron Yakovetti, Tony Rathman are building Spotacon.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
that's
know those to be brought up.
that's a game changer, in my opinion. Once they have all the bugs worked out, we've already started buying the equipment for it.
Mhm.
And I've started downloading some of the software. I didn't realize that some of the software that they have on there is no longer freeware, and
Mhm.
you almost need to take out a second mortgage for one of them. So,
Yeah.
but we plan to move to Staticom here soon once they have their research completed with it. I think that's the next step to pretty much
Mhm.
dialing them up on a cell phone.
Yeah, that's what I think one day with that Staticom that they're doing. And I was telling Ron that too. I'm like, one day you're gonna be able to pick up the phone and speak to somebody.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
That's these dark circles are because Ron did a test in the middle of the night. I was up to like 3 o'clock. That you can't turn it off, right? Have you guys ever listened to it like in one of these live tests that they've been doing?
Yeah.
You don't want to stop. I was like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I gotta go to bed.
I used to do that with them when I used to go on there with them. Like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, we'll still be.
Yeah, you don't want to stop. It's incredible.
It's like, and Ron's going like nodding off, and I'm like, Ron, you up? You up? Lourdes is like, I'm out of here. I'm going to bed, and she leaves.
Yeah.
And then Ron's up, and I'm like, Ron, you falling asleep? No, I'm just concentrating.
Yeah.
Right.
You're concentrating with your eyes closed and your head down.
Yeah, he was on live Monday.
Yeah, right, Scott. Right, Rich. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on live Monday, and I got on there, and at some point I was like, I got to go to bed, Ron.
I know, I saw you. Yeah, exactly.
But I got to work in the morning. So, but yeah.
Has anybody not heard it?
Staticom, I think everybody. I don't know, Gerard, you ever heard that Staticom yet? I know you heard the radio when he used to do the.
He mentioned it to me. I haven't actually heard it yet.
Yeah, I don't think you heard it yet, but I think everybody else here. Bob, you were there a couple times. You heard him at the Paracon and stuff like that. So I think everybody pretty much heard it already.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard it. I heard a spirit come through and say Sam Baltrusis's name.
Yeah,
and that was wild. And I'm like, there was no mistaking that happened. And when you see things like that, you realize that they've stumbled upon something. I put that right on the same level as Gary Golka's new SB7 Pro, where I think he's just gone next level with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I heard about those. I haven't seen it.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I have one sitting here with me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
He has one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, on Greg Backen's show, Gary was recounting the whole story behind it and how it came to be. And so, yeah, I mean, between those two, I think we're getting really, really close to getting like a reliable communication ITC method.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the Staticom. I mean, they have it on one of their clips, and I said, "Mom, if you hear, have Cookie bark." Cookie was my dog when I was growing up.
Right.
Rod knows, and it actually you heard roof. You heard it bark. You heard barking.
Wow.
And I'm like,
immediately.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
And he actually when he goes to the Paracons, he plays his the documentary, like the advertisement documentary that's on Paraflix, and that's one of the clips on there.
Wonderful.
My dog barked. So Tracy, back to you. The same question. Technology and everything. I know you got
I'm
some.
an ITT person. I prefer my radio scan and voice recorder, body cam too. We catch so much wearing a body cam.
Mm-hmm.
Because the spirits are so used to us walking around the hotel trying to capture something. You'll hear them say she's recording. And, and when I turn it off, that's when I get the best evidence because I didn't catch nothing. It's like just a personal experience. It's always when the cameras stop rolling.
Mm-hmm.
But body cam. The only new piece that I like is the flux. You got to be careful with that because it's got the photo cells, so you can't have light like aimed at it and things like that.
True.
But on command
don't
to have them
you
turn
that
it
rope now with the EMF
What?
connected to it? That big, what is it? With the
yes, we have the tripwire. But again,
that is wild stuff.
You got to be careful with that too because if a storm is coming, as soon as you hear thunder or lightning, that thing will go nuts. So
really?
Again, lightning affects all the equipment as well. So, fail-safe is the EVP recorder, the body cam, that's stuff that you're not going to get a false positive.
Mm-hmm. I still got to get you to make that the music box for me.
Yeah, and then I also build equipment as well.
Yeah, these are nice equipment. I've seen those, and we used it when we went there a couple of times. So it's good equipment. So I'm going with the next question. I'm going to start with Angela and Bill, since you're 1, 2, 3. I started with them. You're third. Okay. Why do you still do this? Why do you still go out and investigate after all these years?
For me, it's part of me. It started since I was like 4 years old, and it's not going to stop. Too well vested in it, I guess you could say. I love doing it, and I still truly believe we're going to find something in years to come, and there'll be answers to all of our questions in years to come. Maybe not right now, because I don't think we're ready just as yet, but we're getting there, and I'm not going to give up now. I mean, I've been doing this forever, so for me, it's not going to stop.
So, Bill?
No, for me, it's still the curiosity. Especially if she's going on something and I'm not going, I'm going to be curious to find out if she's coming. Besides, she needs me to drive her.
You need somebody to drive. Yeah, what the hell?
I'll never get there if I have to drive. Forget about it. Send me around 4 times and I'm lost. Forget it.
So Bill's a chauffeur.
But there's I'm the muscle too. But there's a fascination behind it. But you still got that curiosity and interest that maybe this will be the location you find something really significant.
Mm-hmm.
So that I guess keeps driving you on. It's like I haven't gone to an investigation yet that we said that's it. We don't need to do this anymore. So,
and each time we go, we find something new, and you just don't want to stop. You want to find out more. And again, the people that we help, we enjoy helping people, and we get a lot of calls from people who want to learn. So I help a lot of people out on the phone, guiding them on their very first investigations and what equipment to buy, how to get started, what's a safe way to do it. A good portion of my time is spent doing that, just helping people on the phone that reach out to me. So, we stay busy in it, and, we keep ourselves constantly, looking for more and more places and You know, you never know what you're going to find.
Yo, Richie, you look so lonely up there. I'm going to ask you next, and then I go back to Gerard. You look up there like you're so lonely. Look, he looks like a little kid. Like,
I
what
am
about me?
through one of the worst colds I ever had.
Oh no!
But you know,
he's sick right now. He has like 101 fever. And he's still doing the show. That's why.
yeah.
That's why Maureen left. She's not feeling good. She has like 102 fever. So
I'm drinking tea. I'm getting through it. But I'll give you the mediumship response. It's to help prove the continuity of life, and that the light that made your loved one who they were did not go out with physical death. That they still go on, that we can still contact them, and that they're still involved in our daily lives. And this can also be said about these locations that we go into. Lives were lived there, right? People enjoy the happiest of times and the saddest of times, right? So when we go into these spaces, we commune with them. And when we gather that evidence, we're asking them about their lives. And that, to me, when you get responses, whether it's through audio, video, whether it's through physical touch, that to me is amazing. And that shows everyone out there that there is something more to this. There is something more to where we go, whether it's we're communicating with consciousness, which I feel, and we're linking with it. But that to me is why we're doing this, is to help prove the continuity of life. We're in this to give spirit a voice. Like that's another huge thing of mine. Like, we're not in this for ego. There's no room for ego. You got to knock ego out of there. There's some people that are, but we're in service of spirit. And that, I feel, they know our intentions, especially when we go into these spaces. They know your heart. They know when you go in there and you begin that dialogue, if they want to communicate with you or if they want to back off.
Yeah.
So
100%.
That's great. Brianna, I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure.
Because you're still new at this. Why do you want to start doing this with getting into it? Because we're all old timers. We've been here like a million years. We're here since the dinosaur. So, well, except for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But you're starting out. So why do you want to start this with us? Start the journey of this.
I've always been curious since I was little, because I remember like the first thing I ever saw something was in the house and I couldn't explain it. I remember talking to my parents about it. They're like, "Oh, you saw that too?" I was like, "Yeah." Because like my mom, she would see it. He's never seen it before. It's like a giant apparition just like by the bathroom. So that kind of sparked my curiosity. And then always hearing stories. I love hearing about people's experiences. It just makes me like so fascinated. I was like, that's really cool. It's like hearing the stuff that you've done. A lot of stuff is like very funny. And that just like makes me want to do stuff. But I would say for like the past couple of years, I did take a break from it because after a while I did get scared because I would feel stuff emotionally and I did not know how to deal with that. Because a couple of places we've went to, I would just start crying for no reason. And that always made me feel slightly embarrassed because my parents would ask me, like, "Why are you crying?" I was like, "I don't know." And then the second when we would leave a place, I would be totally fine. I was like, "Oh, nothing ever happened."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then during
you did the Conjuring House with us.
What?
No, I'm telling everybody, you did the Conjuring House with us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's like I think I've been the most open since then. Because I remember going, I was fine the whole time. And I remember when I went into the basement, I started feeling something, but I couldn't explain it. And I just remember being near the staircase, and I kept feeling something on my hand. And I felt like a presence of a child, but I wasn't sure. And I just felt like intense emotions, like sadness, anger. It was just too much. And I was just standing there, and I just didn't know what was happening. And then my dad, he looked at me, he's like, "Are you okay?" And I just like, I couldn't move or anything. He's like, "Okay, we have to go." And then we went outside and I was just like, started crying. Didn't know what was happening. And then April was there. She helped me. And then it was
Cole's brother.
Yeah, he did a prayer session with me. And then after that, and after that, I felt strong.
Johnson.
Yeah, because I don't know, something happened. I just felt very weak. I didn't feel safe. And then coming outside and everyone like surrounding me, it was like such positive energy. I was like, I felt that.
And then I went back in that house. I was like, you know what? I'm not scared. But I was still petrified of that basement. I couldn't look at that door. I just didn't want to be near there. And I remember feeling very protective of my mom just in the attic. Like, I don't know what happened because I was very scared. And then, like, I got very overprotective over her. And that was just such a weird feeling. And then after the Conjuring house, I was affected a couple months later. I was getting sleep paralysis every single night, and it's never happened to me before. And when it was happening, I kept hearing like footsteps, like stomping, and I kept feeling something going near me. And I kept having vivid dreams of someone who's like saying like they're my mother. And I'll look at the person, I was like, you're not my mom. And I'll just run away. And that happened for a week straight. And then we spoke to Virginia.
Virginia, she's a psychic.
Yeah. And then after
Virginia Rose.
Yeah, after talking to her, she's saying like I'm very open with it, like open with my emotions. I don't know how to control it. So I have to kind of like pull back because when I go to a lot of places, like I get very emotional and I don't know why.
I mean, we've gone to places Bailey's and she's up there and I've seen her eyes, something's wrong, and I got to take her outside immediately.
Yeah.
Whatever child in that building is affecting her. We went to the Raymond Hall. She had problems with the Raymond Hall.
Yeah.
And anywhere she goes, as children, they seem to attract to her. And I see it. Even Eastern State Penitentiary, they were all around her. Everything's around her.
Yeah. And I remember the scariest thing that happened to me was in the house. There's like something in the house that kind of looks like me. It's like my mom's seen it since
In this house, yeah.
Yeah, because she said
I've
she
seen
had
it too.
Yeah, and I remember I was in my bedroom and I looked up because I saw someone walk past my door. I was like, oh, look weird. I was like, maybe that was my mom, but I saw part of the face. I was like, oh, that's not her. I went out to the hallway towards their bedroom. I was like, Mom, no one answered me. So I started getting a little panicky because me and my mom, we look very similar. But then I realized that what I saw looked exactly like me. And I told my mom and I was crying for so long. So I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just wanted to stop. So I felt too open at that point. I just didn't want to see anything anymore with that. But then I started going on investigations against my dad and it just sparked my curiosity again. I feel like my emotions, I'm trying to like draw back on it a little bit, trying not to be as open. But I'm definitely hearing more stuff now, which has really never happened to me. But yeah, I just always loved hearing stories and that always like sparked my curiosity. And I love going. It's always so much fun.
If you ever need to talk to anybody, you got a couple people here that could talk to you about.
Yeah, because
Tim's raising a hand already. Tracy,
Yeah.
she has that face.
Yeah. Because after a while, it really started scaring me.
Even
Just like
Maureen is
my
good at that.
emotions. Yeah. But yeah, I really love doing it. It's just so much fun.
So after all that now, since name's Brianna, me and her started our own group called BZ Paranormal. So we go as the Seekers Club, a.k.a. BZ Paranormal. So that's dedicated to my daughter.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Kim, why do you still do this? Why you do this for?
The cannolis.
Yes. Well, I wanted to say thanks for sharing your experience. You're definitely not alone in your experience. My own initial awakening, I also had the sleep paralysis. It is not permanent, but that definitely was one of my first experiences while I was opening. It was years ago. But yeah, you're definitely not alone. Feel free to ever reach out. Why do I do this? I don't really know, Anthony. I don't really have a good answer. This was not what I was supposed to be doing, really. I'm a veterinarian by profession. That's, really what I do. And then spirit just kind of happened to me. I did watch all the TV shows growing up. I would love for it to be real. I've always wanted it to be real for some reason, but it wasn't really. I don't know. I don't really have a good answer. I don't know why I like to go to locations. I'm not really like kind of the traditional medium in a way. It's a little out of the box. The locations sometimes call me. Often, we were talking about dreams, like places coming up in dreams. I've had that. Places and spirits come to me in dreams too. And a lot of the places that I'm drawn to go to, they like have something that needs to be shared. And we've actually experienced this. Rich and I have experienced this at multiple places we've investigated together, where, you know, a lot of times these places that have been investigated over and over again, or even places that have like legends and stories that go on and on and on and are carried on, may not actually be really what happened. It's kind of what's the story that's, you know, telephone, what's been passed down is the story. So some of those places will like, I don't know, I guess call out to me, and I help see if there's anything to set straight, kind of. I don't really know, Anthony. I don't really have a good answer. I love it though. I love helping spirits.
I mean,
I love
you're kind of like born into it. This is you. I mean, that's what you do. And I mean, why you still do it? Because it's pretty much you.
Yeah, like I have to. Yeah.
It's like you feel you have to, and I mean, it's you. That's the way it is. It's like, I mean, being psychic, you know, Richard, you and Tracy, even Maureen and stuff, you guys got abilities that, you know, you can't get rid of. It's like, okay, I quit now. You can't, because everywhere you go is going to be something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Angela said that too. And we just kind of, we just do it. It's like it's like a part of us. You're right, Anthony.
It is you. That's what you do. That's you.
It'll always be with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mr. Bobby J. Gallo.
Well, I've been doing this since 1989, and I don't see any reason to stop now. In every age and every time since the beginning of recorded human history, people have been having supernatural experiences. And what I see happening in the world today is the world's becoming more materialistic and secular as time goes on. And I feel that, you know, proving the existence of the afterlife is kind of a way of reversing what I feel is a dangerous trend. Because honestly, if this is the end, we're all just animals, Darwin rules, and anything goes. Survival of the fittest is the rule of the day. I think when we prove the existence of the afterlife, I think there's a lot of benefit to humankind. I mean, we're all going to know sooner or later whether we want to or not. But I would rather know now what's going on and have that proof. I want to live long enough to see proof actually happen, where we absolutely prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that there is an afterlife, and we can document it, and we can get as close to the scientific method as we can. So that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, you've been in such a long time, and you want the answers still. You want answers.
Yeah, I do.
I understand that. You know. So, Jenny.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's the same question for you. Why are you still doing this? Hey, what are you doing?
To hang out with you.
Yeah, that's great. Hang out the Ritz.
and yeah, Rich, Kim, I've hung out with all of you. Bobby, I think so much like you. That's. I mean, there's the proof that you're talking about that we might reach, but there's also the magic. You know, and as a scientist, it's odd for me to say that, but part of it's about the magic, like you said, the supernatural, the superstition, you know, all those things that got lost, you know, for a while, which I think that's just the best word I can think of, you know, and the hope you mentioned before, someone said hope. I love that word too. You know, where did that go? So I love, you know, reaching in for that. The other thing is, Kim is, you know, obviously amazing with history. I think what a privilege to like touch that history in some way, you know, to bring it back or, you know, go back into it somehow, to be in these buildings. What a privilege, right? We get to go into these buildings. It's like night at the museum every night, right? For us.
Yeah, so 300-year-old buildings, 200-year-old building. That's awesome.
Exactly. And I like to think, okay, what was it like to cook over this fire? What was it like? You know, Kim's smiling because she's like, that same thing, right? Like, I want to touch
she loves history, that girl.
You know, not just the walls, but I want to touch the people that were there. That's why I do it.
That's awesome. Scotty?
Well,
Why do you still do this?
He does it for the money. Scott does it for the money.
I can see he's
Yeah.
in his mansion right now with his 78-inch TV sitting behind him.
But, for me, I think it's part of my nature of who I am. I've spent most of my adult career in service-oriented careers. Most prominently would be, I was 12 years as a law enforcement officer and all there. In my nature is this desire to want to help. I want to feel like I've helped somebody, whether it's the living or the afterlife. Yes, we go to all these great locations. My favorite investigations are still the residential investigations. Going into you have somebody come contact you, say, I've got a problem, I need help. Let's get in there and see what we can do. I'm proud to say that every one of our residential investigations so far, we've come to a conclusion. We've found out what was going on, come up with a plan, and we've brought peace to either the homeowners and or the spirits in there as well. We've actually had a couple of investigations where we had got it on evidence where spirits were saying, help me cross over, help me, I don't know what I'm doing, that type of feeling from them, and we help get them to where they need to go. So that's why I still do this. It's part of me now. So
yeah, I mean, all of us have that. It's like you do it so long. I mean, we all started for the same reason. I mean, we had experiences. I mean, we had experiences, and that's we're still looking for answers why we see things and not everybody else, or had something happen to us. That's how I feel with that. Tracy,
well, I've only been actually in the field going on 5 years.
Yeah.
So
you've been living in Shanley for 5 years. So you got more stories than most of us with like 30 years of investigation time.
I'm jealous.
I know. She stays overnight. She's there right now by herself.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
But I've been in the field for 5 years, actively, like every day, but it's a passion. You gotta love doing this to stay in it. I've seen things since I was a child that I couldn't explain, from UFOs to spirits in the house, and opening up as psychic and mediumship. I've only been doing that for going on a year now, and I have an amazing mentor, Scott Davis. But
great guy.
Yeah,
very good
awesome.
people.
But
next week too.
Huh?
He's gonna be on the show next week too.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's just a passion. I want answers. I love to help people. I love sitting down, picking other investigators' brains on ideas of what they do, things to change, learn and grow with each other.
Mm-hmm.
We just need more communities, more, together.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with us. I mean, each and every one of us got into this, for our own reasons, because our experience and stuff. But we all met each other along the way, and we all made good friends here, like-minded people. That's the whole thing. This is what they use that word para-unity very loosely these days, but this is it. Look at all of us. We're here together talking about the same thing. 20 years ago, if you did this, you'd be burned at a stake.
I don't know about 20, but
yeah.
About 20, about 40
maybe
years.
200.
There you go.
Probably a few people out there that would still like to burn me at the stake, but
I was gonna say, is that really over?
Yeah, right.
Can I just pay a compliment to Tracy? Like, I didn't meet you at the Shanley, but I have been there, and what you're doing there is incredible.
Thank you very much. I try. I love this build. This is like home to me. And the owner,
can tell.
Kelly, is just amazing. I love her to death. You know.
Yeah.
It's a very cool place.
And also, Scott made me feel guilty because he has a really good point. You know, you're not just doing it for yourself, and Rich too. You're doing it for that spirit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. To put them first like that, that's amazing.
And this is like a big dysfunctional family here at the hotel. There's like you know, I argue with the spirits like they were my family and joke with them, and you know, I investigate morning, noon, and night.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think we're all jealous, Bobby.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to add if anybody, you were talking about SLS cameras. We are raffling an XLS camera in a raffle basket on New Year's. If anybody wants tickets.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Yeah, and Ron and Lourdes are going to be there on New Year's too.
Mm-hmm.
Going to bring you New Year's with Staticom. That's pretty cool.
I'll be here.
That's awesome New Year's. I mean, I wish we all could be there. You know, bringing the New Year's, doing what we love.
Let's have Anthony's monthly meetup and meet up at the Shanley.
Yeah, we'll do it. Let's go. You know, I would love to
Just
go.
don't book my room. I'm not getting out of my room for you.
Oh yeah, you know. That's one night. I'll just add a story. One night I was there. It was like 4:00 in the morning. Ron and Lourdes went to bed. You went to bed. April, everybody went to bed, and I went to my room, and I hear beeping going on in the place, and it was one of the alarm sensors going off downstairs. So I get up. I'm like, what the hell? So big investigator I am. What I do? I pick up my night vision camera and I bring it with me. So I'm walking around, seeing maybe I could shut a door or something. You know, I'm walking around the place. I go up and down the stairs and stuff. So I said, I can't figure this thing out. It's going off. I'm knocking on her door. Bang, bang, bang.
I wouldn't answer.
She sleeps like the dead. That's why she loves it there. She couldn't. I mean, I'm banging on the door. She's not getting. So I'm calling up Kelly. Kelly's not answering. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So I have my camera and stuff. So I said, you know, the hell with this. I have to wake up in a couple of hours to drive back to Queens. So I got my camera. I go back in the room and I check out my camera. And as the alarm was going off, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to get to bed. I'm thinking, nobody's coming. I'm staying there. And we got an EVP in the camera, which I gave to them, and I think they're using it somewhere.
I have it.
You have it. And it says, get the wire cutters.
Back then, that's how they would get rid of an alarm.
Yeah. Back in the 30s or 20s, whatever it was, when it was bootleggers there, how would the Irish mob break into something with the alarm? Wire cutter. Nowadays, it's like all computerized and stuff. You can't just cut one with everything going off. But they just boom, cut the wires. That's it. So I got a great AVP from that. Okay, we got a question here. Anybody reading that?
Yeah, it's not a show. It's not a show without an oofy question.
What?
It's not a Dimensions of the Supernatural without at least one oofy question.
Yeah, Oofy loves to do. Okay.
You guys have all answered questions from Oofy, I'm sure.
Well, you gotta be on the show. Oofy's one-to-one invites all the questions out. Jen, do me a favor. You want to read that? Can you read it?
Sure. Have you ever had a situation where you were actively investigating one type of phenomena, but stumbled upon another entirely unexpected occurrence? How did it shape your future investigations?
That's
great. Is a good
I'd
question.
like to answer that one. I'd like to
Yeah,
answer
go.
that one. Uthi, just about every private residential investigation, that very thing will happen. You will walk in, you have your list of, I say complaints because that's, I'm a paramedic, that's the terminology we use. You have list of complaints or what's going on from the client. You get in there, you start gathering evidence, and you start realizing, wait a minute, there's something else going on here. We have yet to go into a single residential evidence investigation where there wasn't more than one. You had at least two entities there. The most prominent one for us was one here in Winston-Salem where it's we got in there. We thought what was just going to be regular poltergeist activity, and next thing we know, we're dealing with an elemental. Which you have to you have to be a little bit more different with. You're not going to pass an elemental onto the light. They are part of the land where they're at. So, and we got an excellent picture of it, and part of that picture is now part of the logo. If you look at our logo now, the red section on the side of it, that is from that photograph. It is where we actually got the elemental on camera. So using once again UV black light, high definition photography. That's how we call it.
You guys talk about that. I'm interested with that black light stuff.
Well,
no.
I don't know. You see an awful lot with a black light. I don't know if I want to see too much.
Well, yes. Unfortunately, yes. Especially when you go into a private residence with that, and you're in certain areas of their house, and you turn on a black light, and you're like, ooh.
Don't sit there.
So, I'm like,
I'm
I don't
sorry,
know.
I had to go there.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if there was a homicide here or someone had way too much.
Well, I love that you brought that up.
So, but yeah, but well, and also in this, but there again to the blacklight situation, we were able to see where in that residence, where one of the family members had been doing satanic rituals and had been using stuff on the walls that you could not see with the naked eye, but you hit it with that black light and you're like,
Good idea.
Well, we know what's going on.
Black light. That sounds like a good piece of equipment. I know we did black light, just a regular black light, and me and my brother, we were at the West Virginia again, remember? And we walked past this tub, and we did a black light, and the tub was like glowing. The whole tub was glowing. So the next day, we went on a day tour to see what we were seeing at nighttime, and we asked the tour guide. I said, last night this tub, we put a black light on it, and it glowed. He goes, "Oh yeah, that was the bleeding tub."
Yep.
I'm like, "What?" They used to, people were
blood
sick.
lights up. Yeah.
Yeah. And they bleed them. That's crazy.
Wow.
Is Staticom open or closed technology?
Closed. It's closed.
Right now it's closed, yes. It will be eventually. I think everybody would, catch up. But right now it's definitely closed because it's unique. And the people that Ron Lourdes, Tony and Sherry Rathman, it's pretty much they know what to do with it, and they got the all the technology and all the programs and everything that goes with, because it's not just one program. There's many programs that go with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like you said, Scotty, the programs can go very expensive.
Yeah.
It's
still very much in the
right time, and they got certain programs, and people give them discounts or whatever. But it was at the right time for them. Now the technology, I mean, it's too much for like a Yes, for one program, it costs more than like a couple weeks' salary.
Yeah. It can be expensive. And also the reason why, one of the reasons it's closed, it's still in the research and testing phase. Tony.
Yeah.
So
it's going to take another couple of years for them to really dial that up. It's going to take another 3-4 years because
I think Leland with Paranormal Scouts is also dabbling in it now too.
There's a lot of people dabbling in it. I spoke
Yeah,
to
like I said,
everybody's trying to get a piece of the brass ring.
Yeah, I have
right now it's on the market.
I pretty much have all the equipment bought. I have the white noise generator. We now have a computer with enough computing power to run all the multiple.
The only things you don't have is Ron and Tony.
Right.
Those are the only. Well, Lourdes, yes, Lourdes is here, and Sherry. But when it comes to the technology of it and stuff like that, bringing it in, right there.
If you're interested about it, I highly recommend Ron's book.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I love it. We have a commercial.
And he has a good book because I'm in all of them.
Well, not just that one book, but all his books.
I'm in the newest, but Scott,
there's a pull-out poster too here.
I'm in the phone. My hands like this, my feet up.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
That's paranormal.
I was going to say, Scott, it's still very tech support intensive.
Yeah.
Like it can take
very
3
much
hours to solve one problem, right? So, I mean, that's something that you're still working on.
Oh, yeah. No, you're very correct. I mean, will it get to the point, some point where it's a handheld device, just like an SD7 or something like that? Who knows?
Hope so.
Maybe at some point, yes. But at that point, I think Ron and Tony are going to be looking at, that's going to be something way down the road for a while.
Right.
But no, Anthony, you're right. We're probably still at least another year or two before they're ready to start saying, "Hey, we've got all the bugs worked out of this."
Right.
And putting out the information that's needed for people like us to say, "Okay, yes, I've got the equipment, and then I can start downloading the software." And then and then they'll be able to guide us through getting this set up. And it's a game changer. Once we get this thing dialed in, it's going to be a game changer for this.
Definitely.
For the especially from a research standpoint. I almost kind of want to stop calling us investigators and calling us researchers, because that realistically that's kind of what we're doing. So
well, we investigate on a thing and then we do our research afterwards when we actually do our reviews. That's our research part, because then we find something, we listen to it, and then we pass it on to everybody to listen to. How many people we pass it to, just like in family wise and stuff, to listen to our stuff. And then you do the research, then you start look at the location and say, how come I got these voices and stuff? And then that's when you start doing it. I mean, it's so many words now. Since television took over for the paranormal, Bobby knows, like when we were first doing this, I didn't even know. We didn't even call it paranormal. We was called supernatural.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I didn't know the word paranormal until like the show started. Tell you the truth, I'll tell you. And people are going to say, what? I didn't know the Warrens until I started watching the show. Until I watched one of them, the movie, the Amityville Horror. That's when I found out about the Warrens. I didn't know who the Warrens were. So I mean, all this stuff. Television helped us progress to what we are doing now.
I mean, this was referred to as psychic phenomenon for a very, very long time. Paranormal is a very recent catchphrase.
Yeah, psychophenomena and supernatural, or it was everything was it was. I mean, even evidence. I didn't know what evidence was back then. It's like, oh, I caught something. Hey, that's cool. We got something. So, and back then it was a little harder to, and there wasn't the computers back then weren't as adaptable to today to like how we plug something in now and drop our evidence on. Like my brother was saying, the 8mm cameras we were using, the Super 8s and stuff.
Yep.
You had a cassette, big ass cassette that you had to transfer, and you don't know how to get it onto the computer because the computers back then weren't capable for a lot of that stuff. So you have all these tapes all over the place, and then you want to play something, you got to play a tape. And then you want to make a copy of that tape, go record a tape with a microphone. The decks. It was a lot different back then to now with the technology, with all the how we get our stuff together. So yeah.
Well, look at how much data this actually takes up too. I remember, some of the first episodes of Ghost Hunters. One of them was talking about how they lost 1 gigabyte drive. Think about that one.
Yeah, I know.
I can rack up a gigabyte worth of data now just in setting a camera up. You turn it on, that thing will rack up a gigabyte almost instantaneously.
Yeah.
I've got
never went to 2 gigabytes. Like, hey.
I have between this laptop, the one behind me, and the one sitting on the desk there, I have approximately 6 terabytes. And I've probably filled up about half of them already.
Wow.
So, I mean, just the amount of data throughput alone on this has changed tremendously. So
yeah, it's a lot. I mean, we were talking about how technology went. I mean, and like the old technology we love, like we still love. My brother and I, we still love our old Super 8 cameras with the night vision. But the cassettes, we used to buy 4 cassettes for $11. Now 2 cassettes cost us $90.
Yeah.
What? It's like the price is like, okay, that camera could be put aside. We'll buy another one for that kind of money. You want to do investigations, and so a lot of stuff's changed for all of us. So
plus Gerard and Anthony, you can't drop that and lose it like the SD card.
Yeah, I know.
Those big tapes that you used to put in.
No, in all luck, yeah, we could.
Yeah, the SD card came out with cassette. It was like that's when the SD cards first. I think that was the first digital thing we had.
Right.
And we had the SD card, and that's when we took it out, and it didn't even hit the floor. It was like
we're standing there looking at the floor, like, where'd it go? Where'd it go?
The 3 of us, me, him, and my brother, because I started the team in '96. The team was started in '96. My brother came on later on, him and my son. So they're like pretty much like the co-founders to help me out to get it going. And the 3 of us are sitting there like, whoa. That was pretty cool. So we're running out of time. I mean, if you guys want to talk amongst each other, you can talk about me if you so want.
I'm curious as to when you all started. You said '96.
Tracy
said 5 years ago, right?
Me, it was 5 years ago. Roughly, what was that? 2019, 2020, somewhere 4 or 5 years ago now. Yeah, I came into the hotel as a guest and I refused to leave.
You could never leave.
Sounds like you're not the only one.
Yep.
89 here.
89?
89?
Okay.
Richard?
2000.
2000?
2000.
I've been doing it probably since '92, but we didn't do teamwork until like 2006, 2007.
That's still a long time.
Yo, were you into it before you met her, or
me?
Yeah.
That's your answer.
Hey, I don't believe in this shit.
Well, I am the skeptic on the team.
That's the driver.
But we made a believer out of him. I mean, he's seen some things he couldn't explain, so he's still with us. So.
I'm still looking for the logical reason for whatever phenomenon is happening, but there are some cases can't
But we
explain.
need guys like you to keep us down to earth.
Yeah,
that's why we make a good team.
Yeah.
You know how many fights we've had over EVPs? Don't you hear that? No.
Don't you hear
this thing?
You're deaf.
No.
Get a hearing aid.
That's nothing. That's a win. No, it's not.
I love the lines. I have a lot of people come up to me. Oh, there's no such thing as ghosts. I go, I'm not telling you they're ghosts. Well, what do? I investigate. What do you investigate for? I go, why do you drink? I enjoy doing it. So my one friend's telling me, oh, there's no such thing. I'm going to be in a bed and breakfast. It's haunted. You want to go with me? I'm not saying the haunted bed and breakfast. It just says it's not haunted. It's not ghost. Well, there's no ghost.
I mean,
I go, well, for me, it's haunted. To you, be regular bed and breakfast. Oh, I'm not saying that. I don't believe it, but I remember a while back, my grandmother told me a story. Now you're telling me ghost stuff. So you get the whole
stories from the guys that don't believe.
You don't believe, but they're telling me more things that happen to them.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? You think it's real? Well, I'm going to believe you. I'm a ghost hunter. I believe what you're going to tell me because you don't believe me, but that's my thing. I have to believe.
I've had a lot of people stop me outside the hotel. Is that place really haunted? And
What do
then
you say?
I say, of course it is. Well, I don't believe in ghosts. And then I'll look out at the one lady. I said, is Uncle Charlie on your side or your husband's side? Screamed, grabbed her granddaughter, and drug her down the road running. I scared her away from the hotel. But
what a good answer.
It's so hard until something happens to you, you know? But once something happens, then you're like, okay, that's it. Got it. Check. It's real. It's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only been investigating for like 5 or 6 years. I had my first experience in 2008, but like that one experience, I was like, okay, here we go. It's real.
Yep. That's great.
Like we all do it because we just enjoy it. I don't care what somebody thinks, how I am, who I am, what I do. I like doing it. I like doing it.
Yeah.
And it's good that, you know, you can open up and talk. Like my mother, she always believed us. If we saw something, she didn't go in denial. She goes, it's there. It's all right. So I thought my mother's crazy like us. And now as we're going on, like my daughter, she sees things. And we believe her. We tell her it's true. We don't put anybody in denial.
Yeah.
A lot of people in denial. And it's fun when you talk to people. And when they start opening up, then they open up. Because I go, see, I opened something up in your subconscious. You've been hiding this for years. You didn't know it. And at one point, they're realizing, well, maybe this did happen. Maybe I don't remember it, but now it's coming out. There's something you hid as a child. You watch TV. TV is horror movies. As a kid, we always learned ghost to bed, scary, but Casper's friendly. Well, you watch zombies killed, vampire, everything, but it's all fake. So now when you go ghost hunting, you automatically think when the lights go off, bad things are going to happen. Because it was put in our head as a child because of movies. I watched The Exorcist, Friday Exorcist, but now I stayed at the Shanley one night and things happen. They're going to get possessed.
Well, they're still expecting, you know, to be like Scooby-Doo, where they find the bad guy, pull the mask off with it. There it is.
I don't watch ghost movies anymore because I'm like, look at that crap. That ain't real.
That's funny.
That ain't how you do that. So I can't watch certain movies anymore because it just.
I laugh at them.
Well, I think a lot of them they like make fun of us. They make movies and then they make these ghost hunters into like jokes. And what we do is it for passion, and now they're making it as a comedy. Yeah, we watch ghost hunters and things, and Zach jumps out windows and does crazy stuff and things like that. We watch because it's fun watching.
It's entertainment. I mean,
yeah, it's entertainment.
Some people think it's real, you know, and it's, you know, we don't do that on investigations. None of us do it, you know. We don't.
I'm not jumping out a window.
Right.
Take an EVP. Did you want to do this?
For us, it's like, dude, run, but we're not running away. We're running to it.
I mean, this whole podcast, I've heard something walking around my room already, and I didn't run away yet. I keep looking up, like listening for it. But
She has a million haunted dolls in our place too.
I
So
know.
anything could be.
Yeah.
How's my
About the
room
running,
doing up there?
plus, I travel with them too. Like when I find something that has an attachment,
Yeah,
I'm a collector as well.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
I don't know about the running situation, but I know myself and my brother, we can't run. Our knees
I don't run. If I'm running, you better keep up.
I mean, if it's a bear chasing us, I might as well just stop.
But the one time we went to the Hinsdale house and we're all sleeping. My brother decided to go outside, and I used to my brother. He walks slow, like like most. Well, I don't know how you guys walk, but he said he got chased by a bear down a hill and he ran. And we're like, ran? You rolled down the hill.
Anthony is not running.
No, he's not running.
That's
cannolis.
I'm not even skipping.
Better run and go get me my cannoli, though.
Yeah, there's a little waddle as I walk, so it's not like if anything's chasing me, it's gonna catch up to me or pass me. That's how slow I am.
He said, "I ran down the hill." I'm like, "Yeah, right."
He's like, "Yeah."
I know you.
It wasn't a bear. I thought it was a coyote.
Oh, coyote. Yeah,
There are
Andy goes to Roadrunner.
coyotes there. I want to
Yeah,
see
there's
the
a lot of
body cam
coyotes.
footage for that. The back. He wears one in the front and the back. I want to see both. You rolling down the hill.
Me rolling down the hill, yeah, with yeah, me rolling down the hill with body cam in the front and the back. That'd be interesting. That'd be like 3D.
Oh
I'll tell you a real funny one real quick. We're in Burlington State Penitentiary, and I was in the room with our friend Joe McAfee. He passed away. A very good friend of ours and awesome investigator. So I go in the room with him, and I have these headphones on, and my brother's watching the what was that the camera setup you had, the DVRs.
DVR.
So we're in the cell, and Joe's like, he's looking at his camera. He's like, these bugs are big in here, and he's like flattened like this, and I keep hearing a humming sound, and he thinks now the humming's my headphones. We don't know. He goes, these bugs are really big. So we end up leaving, and 2 minutes later, you see these big bats fly out behind us.
I've been there, and there are bats everywhere.
Bats all over the place. I said if they would have seen now, they would have ran out of there because of the bats.
But Joe's there. The bugs are big.
Yeah, he's like,
Somebody was talking about going to West Virginia to the penitentiary.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The tour guide there told me when I was there, when she opened up the boiler doors for the guests, a bat flew in her mouth.
No.
Are there bats at the Montgomery
now we know where
house, Scott?
COVID started.
What?
Yeah, COVID started in West Virginia.
Oh no!
Because those from bats, isn't it?
Well, she said she had to go for rabies shots several times now because the bats are really bad.
Oh my god!
Well, the Sugar Shack's full of bats also.
Yeah,
there.
Tim, the veterinarian's going. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what do you do? What do you do when a bat flies in your mouth and your wings are flapping at your face? You can't scream because then it'll fly in further.
This is like Ozzy Osbourne.
You gotta get that on YouTube.
That'd be there'd be no bats around. You have a snack.
You tell him, do it again. Don't put Facebook Live. Do it again. Do it again.
Retake.
So, Bob, Bobby, I know you've been in the paranormal since the dinosaur age. So
he keeps calling you old, Bobby.
Well, I've been in just as long as him, if not a little longer. But so back then, what got you into it? It was like because you experienced something, or you grew up and experienced as a kid, or
Yeah, I mean, I was a weird kid, and I was into all things strange. And what happened basically was there was a theater that was built by my two great uncles in the town that I grew up in. It was a historic theater, but what happened was it fell into disrepair and it was bought by a moving and storage company. And ever since that happened, the owner was experiencing poltergeist activity. It got to a point where he was so terrified that he wouldn't even enter the building at night. So I got wind of this, and because of my family ties to the place, I got some friends together, and I said, "Let's go check it out." And so we did, and we got together and we had the old VHS that you put over your shoulder, 35 millimeter camera, micro cassette recorder, a candle, and an old key on a piece of string that we used as a pendulum, because I used to read old Hans Holzer books. So I knew about the pendulum and things like that. And so we went in there not knowing what we were doing at all, but we got everything on tape. I actually have that on my YouTube channel. So you can see me in 1989 when I had hair. And we actually did experience some of that poltergeist activity. We had a ball thrown at us, a golf ball, believe it or not, of all things. And all kinds of things were happening that night. And that's really what got me into it initially. Funny thing about that very investigation, that was my first investigation. And recently, Weird New Jersey did a 5-page spread on my very first investigation, that one, because what happened was they went to the theater. The theater's still haunted to this day, notoriously haunted, and by Malcolm and Jenny, the two spirits that reside there. And the current owner of the theater, was actually restored back into a theater. It's now the Children's Theater of New Jersey. They referred he referred Weird New Jersey to me. We told them the story, and they ended up doing a 5-page spread on that. So it was pretty cool. It was my first investigation, and all these years later, they actually wrote about it.
Nice.
Wow.
We're running out of time here.
Yeah.
They're going to be closing on us. I just want to see Chris DeCesare just stopped in and said hello, everybody.
Good people.
Hey, Chris.
What's up, Chris? Everybody. And he goes, so many cool people on my monitor right now. So, it's very
He's
cool.
an awesome person.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah. So, any last words? I mean, we got not much time, but Tracy,
come to the Shanley.
Come to the Shanley. Okay, Richard.
You want to know anything more about me? You could go on to www.richardmoscella.com.
Okay. Next, Bobby and Angela.
Ghosthunter.ws, which is right beneath my name, has my entire paranormal world there.
Nice. Bob, Angela?
You can reach us at gothamprs.com. Shoot us an email if you want to investigate with us, or we'd love to hang out with you, learn more.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're great investigators. Bob, I investigated with everybody here. Gerard.
Well, get me actually with Seekers Club, and also myself and my daughter, we started BZ Paranormal. We started a YouTube page. It's little right now. We don't have much on it, but we're working on getting some information up.
Kim?
Yes, you can find me. I have a blog website, ghosthistorymedium.com. Keep at it. Keep going. Trust your senses. You are designed to sense these things. You all can do it. I promise.
Awesome.
Jen?
I'm going to invite you all to the Ritz Theater, where we host investigations. And please, if you're in New Jersey, please come. Please come. I know Rich has been in there and Anthony's been there.
Love it.
You're all welcome. That's a new, and Bobby, got to get you there. You're close.
Yes, I want to go. I do. We're going to make.
I definitely want to go.
2024. We're going to make it happen.
I love it.
Tracy, everybody. I mean, they all love it.
I was watching Ron Staticom there like a couple weeks ago.
They come a lot. Yeah,
they're there a lot.
It's a new location, so help us with the lasagna.
We got to pile up the paranormal lasagna.
Yeah, come out to it. And
I guess I'm gonna have to bring some kind of paranormal cannolis.
Oh, you better. I haven't had them. And just real quickly, I just started a really fun project with my community. They asked us to do it, to investigate local hauntings in my community of Somerville. And so that's on YouTube. It's a TV show on YouTube. We're only on the second episode. We're feeling our way, but
I've been watching.
It's cool to be involved in your community and with the paranormal.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
I mean,
Yeah,
some stuff you don't realize.
Love that.
Yeah.
Scott?
Well, you can get us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and we have our own website, which you can get, access to all of our social media through that PiedmontParanormal.com. And to answer your question, Jenny, no bats at Montgomery House that I've seen so far. Tala and Waverly are completely different stories.
And there's no bathroom at the Montgomery House either.
No, there isn't. So yeah,
that's why your wife's out in the woods.
Yeah. Yeah, be
Big
prepared
green
for that
bush
one.
out front.
We're all coming down. We all agreed, right?
Yeah, and one of our goals for next year also is to bring our team up to the Shanley.
Excellent.
We Anthony's and Ron have both talked very highly about that.
We've been trying to get them up there for a while.
Yeah.
Good.
I spoke to Kelly about it already too. So
That's awesome. Yeah, let me know when you guys are coming to make sure that I am here for it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you everybody meet. That'd be great. We should
Like
get
I'm
just
never here.
I know. It's like we should get like a once a month thing at Shanley. That'd be awesome for all of us to get together. You know, even Scotty come up from North Carolina.
If it's like a quarterly, because I know monthly, a month goes by so quick anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, work something
I
out.
would love to do that. You know,
Well,
Scotty,
Tracy,
come up.
I
You
can
guys one of those the RVs, something like that, the trailer thing. You can park right in the backyard there.
Oh, really?
I'm looking for a teardrop camper to hook to my bike so I can travel in the summer to different locations.
Well, you can go big like we do. We got 37-foot Class A.
37 foot.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's driving around.
It also doubles as our mobile command center if we ever need. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I would love to have one of those. If I had a place to park, I probably would have one.
Well, I got to admit, my driveway's kind of tight right now. So.
Yeah.
So Tracy, yeah, we're looking to do an investigation now. I spoke to my brother. I'm doing another group called Ted's Paranormal, so they're fairly new, and I've been working with them for a while. So I want to bring them up to the Shanley. So I want to set up with my brother. So yeah, we go with the Seekers and then together.
We got to.
So you bring your daughter too. We do have a lot of children
Yeah,
here.
he's definitely coming.
But it would be a good positive energy for her.
Well, the thing is, I'm very good with children myself. I seen the children come to me all the time.
Because he has the mind still of a child.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right.
I can tease him, but he's my little brother. So we're gonna have to say goodnight to everybody because Bob is on. It's 4:02. Okay. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy
Christmas, everybody.
Christmas. Nice meeting everybody.
Thanks
Yeah,
for hanging out.
thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anthony, so much. Maureen, thank you.
Thank you,
very
everybody.
much.
Thank you for
Great
coming.
evening. Nice meeting you all.
Nice meeting you guys. Friend me on Facebook. We'll chat more and try to get something together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great.
I mean,
Awesome. Good night.
Happy holidays,
Good night.
everybody.
Hey, good night.
Good night, guys. Good night.
You guys, I mean, okay. Everybody's leaving.